Is there a potential redemption arc for Andrew Tate?
I've been asking myself this.
Absolutely. Everybody has one.
Yeah, I agree.
Everybody has one.
I could never for a second say otherwise. And I asked you guys the question, but you go first. Go. Because I changed. My life changed. I was in a terrible place, and look at me now. So I think everyone deserves a.
You guys have been my close
arc.
friends for a very long time, especially you. You've been almost a decade now. How I react to enemies, each one, and I had one recently that we just talked about. Every single enemy that I look in the eyes, my goal is they don't even know this. It's spiritual warfare. When they leave my room or leave my presence, constantly I'm praying for them. No bullshit. And I'm not on some like, oh, here we go, this Christian guy just spewing again. It's warfare. I'm trying to get as many people, not fakely, but in real life, to be my friend. I know if you have an issue with me, I know at the end of the day, Andrew Tate had to go through something to become Andrew Tate. So take his philosophy, put it here. If I disagree with it, I'm going to slide it right here, and I'm going to try to diagnose the problem. If he's sick, where is the medicine? And the medicine is speaking of what I feel like. Now, he could take it or he can't take it. Now, I'm not saying I have the medicine. Everybody come follow me. This is what I'm doing. But I'm saying if you have an enemy, the best thing you could do for warfare in your life is get them to be a friend. All of them. Every single one of them. Even if he's like, you look at him and you're like, yo, there's no hope for this guy. There's zero hope for this guy. That's not the case. This is what in movies, when you see a bad villain, this is him. I'm going to take over the world. I'm going to use this and destroy. But in real life, a bad person's usually put in a position they don't want to be a part of, or they're uncomfortable, or they make an accidental mistake that leads to a life. Bro, you didn't wake up one day and been like, I'm going to be a drug addict and ruin my whole family's life. Yeah. You woke up one day and you were like, I'm going to dabble in this. And what I'm saying is, at the end, it always starts with a tiny bit of a dabble. Like that girl that fell in love with a guy that is racist. Bro, she didn't look at this guy like, God bless, he's tall, rich, and he hates black people. This is great. She didn't start this way. And maybe in racism, I know this, I'll bring up racism in the way that I see it. When 9/11 happened and I was in the 3rd grade, a part of me understood why that white kid in class was mad at me. I got it. A little part of me was like, dude, somebody that looked like me just caused a lot of pain to 2,000 people. I have to have some type of empathy to be like, yo, bro, I get it. I understand why you're talking like this, but it ain't me. I'm this and that. And if you could come at a level of like understanding, yo, this guy hates me because of this reason, there has to be a reason.
Empathy. I mean, what he's describing right now is specifically and perfectly defined empathy. Having understanding for and a feeling, a potential feeling for what your opposing viewer is feeling is the only way to relate and connect and drive through that division. That is, we say this all the time. And the unfortunate part of it is empathy is not something you can go buy at the store. It's not something that someone can teach you. It's not a lesson you can be.
That's the hard part about it, though. And you mentioned this, I think, in one of the last episodes. Charlemagne is a lot of empathy, especially if you have trouble understanding and getting there in your head, like I did, comes from trauma. Yeah. Right. Some people just haven't been through shit to make them.
It's wisdom. It's definitely wisdom.
Yeah, for sure. But
wisdom could come in many ways, bro. You don't have to go through it. You could watch it and be like,
I agree, but every person's different. And there's a quote that Max said. I think I've mentioned this before, and I like it. It's experience is the secret ingredient between knowledge and wisdom.
True.
So for me, it is that experience. I don't mean
to interrupt you, but how do you take in the experience? You watch a movie, that's an experience. You watch a play,
it's not the same. As Charlemagne said, it's just not the same. When you go through an event in your life,
it's not the same. That doesn't mean you don't have.
No, you can glean and you can take learnings from it for sure. But when you go through, and here's the other thing with it too, that trauma can also push you in one of two ways. So you can either take your trauma, learn from your trauma, become empathetic, become a better person, or you have a villain origin story. His mom and dad were killed at the grocery store in front of him, and now what is he? He's a murderer. He's a serial killer. So it's tricky, bro. This is not simple stuff. I think because the main audience and the main people that are talking about this specific situation are such a young group, they like to use absolute and specific statements. Andrew Tate was deplatformed by the man. That's it. This conversation is so deep.
Well, they probably thought it was a woman.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, Susan.
I guess
Susan kicked him off
I don't know.
YouTube.
I guess my
I think we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
But also just to circle back to the guy that I did forgive, I saw him and I was like, hey, bro, blah, blah, blah. And I remember looking in his eyes.
The guy who called you a terrorist in the 3rd grade?
No, I'm sorry. I had a recent issue with somebody.
Okay.
And so in real life, I went up to him. We were at the beach and I was like, hey, blah, blah, blah. I could see in his eyes, he was kind of like, what the fuck? Like, why are we good like this? You know, because I was really good about it. Short story, a few months later, and mind you, I didn't do this for this reason. I'm just giving an example.
Yeah.
I was stuck in a position where the door was closed on me, and there was only one fucking guy that I knew that could open up the door for my problem. And I was like, oh, we're good now. So I texted him, and I was like, hey, man, do you think you can help me with it? 10 minutes later, it was all gone. And it was just a really big learning lesson to me.
Yeah,
I'm
bro.
not going to take somebody's bad experience that turned him into an asshole in my point of view, say, fuck this guy. If I forgave him, for me, in the end, you don't know how that could benefit you. So really forgiving somebody and moving on could help you more than it could even help them. It's really for you.
For sure. I forgave KSI for beating me, and then we started Prime. So I see what you're saying.
Yeah, dude. If you want to be rich and successful,
Forgive and forget.
love,
dude. And just on like a final cap on it too, like I don't hate that guy at all.
You
I don't
got-
hate. I
got
of
your
course,
heart
even
broken.
no, even slightly. I don't have any bad feelings towards him whatsoever. I hope that you can even in that video he posted, you could already see him starting to kind of feel
that
like
was the good news.
he was okay. Like, yo, I've pushed a little bit too far.
Yep.
And by the way, I don't even know that he hadn't already started to implement that. I think
As alpha as you can be, dog, I'm telling you, there's a toll it takes on your mental health
to be at war.
that he thinks he's just a stoic warrior at all times.
Yeah.
When the whole world's coming down on you, that's not easy, man.
Yeah, it's not. It sucks. And
for that reason, I have empathy for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
But Gary Vee once told me this, bro. You sleep in the fucking bed you make, and you have to take full accountability for the shit that you do in your life. And he's got to do that. And if he can do that and find himself using his gift, by the way,
gift, bro.
gift.
I mean,
he can do great shit. It's gonna take some time.
Yeah.
We need some time to unwire and correct this weird toxic masculine imbalance that may have made a little comeback. By the way, dog, you all know me. I'm down to be a fucking alpha male. Yo, protect, provide 100% through and through, no matter what. But there's a limit to, like, what does a true alpha look like, right? Do you need to talk about it? You got to talk about how cool you are.
In fact, you don't talk.
Or you just be a fucking man.
Yeah.
You be an actual man. Protect the people you love. Provide for the people you love, and have that in your back pocket, knowing that you are it already. And you don't need shit to validate what you think you have.
We fight over labels. In every vertical, that it's always a label.
I was an alpha male.
You call me this, or you're fighting for that, and it's just like it doesn't matter. Words became so much more powerful than it should. Like
I think words are powerful.